up for Miss Savy!
Thank you.
Baby, you gotta walk by faith
Wow.
and not by sight.
Wow. Wow. And what's so crazy is that when this came to mind and to create something like this, to pair it with epilepsy, I didn't know how it was going to happen. I said, you know what? Fashion and epilepsy, that don't even make sense. But then he said, just do it. He said, do it. And he said, get people to run it for you. You sit back in the room, and I want you to walk into the room and see what happens. So this brings me to, I would say, because I got notes, but I'm just going to go ahead and be transparent and just go ahead and get it out of how it's there. I did this show because as being a creator, I have so many seizures in between fashion shows, behind the camera, when I'm taking pictures, literally when I'm sleeping at night, back to back. But I question, I said, you know what? When this happens, people, they don't live long. I said, why are you keeping me? Why are you keeping me? So then he said, I'm going to keep you because I need to use you. And then if you go to work, I'm not going to let you work. I said, well, how I'm going to make my money? No, I'm going to be honest, you guys, like, the jobs that I be having, they be phenomenal jobs. They love me. But then he tells me this. He said, you know what? If you don't walk away from the job going to walk away from you. Yeah. So it brought me here to be my starting point for doing something with a cause. I'm always doing fashion shows. I am always doing something with experience Savy for models, but I need something with a purpose. In order for my fruit to go, I got to include who I really am. I got to show you who I really am. My real name in India. I got epilepsy. I have seizures every other day. But guess what? I'm still able to plan a fashion show, do the marketing. I mean, when I say send out thousands of emails, hand out thousands of flyers, and I did not have one seizure. He covered me the whole marketing scheme. He covered me the whole time. I did not know. But I want to start with my first story. So, back in 2010, I was pregnant with twins. And I had a stroke. And when I had the stroke, I came out of it, I had a brain tumor, but it wasn't benign. So since it wasn't benign, they were able to go in and do whatever they was going to do, And then a couple months later, I end up with seizures. And I'm just having seizures back to back, back to back, back to back. I'm not really knowing what it is. I wasn't taking it serious. I'm going to let you know, if you're in this room, you young, you having seizures, and they telling you that you having seizures, please go see about it. Because for me, I didn't take it serious because I was living my young life. I thought I was having anxiety, postpartum. I thought I was just falling out because I ain't had no sense. But at the time of me just growing and learning who I am, I really know that with this whole thing of epilepsy is because God want me to do something different. He want me to do something. I don't think at first I was embarrassed to come out here and talk about this. I was so embarrassed. I'm like, oh my gosh, people not going to want me to work for them. They think I'm going to be falling out all the time. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's more power in being transparent. She told me who she was, though. You know what I'm saying? I told you who I was, and that's the most important part about it. But let me get back to my story because I'm always going off to the left. But when I was having seizures after 2010, reeled me back in. And when I first came out here, I had said something. I said, why are you keeping me? So in 2010, I laid on a couch and I said, you know what? If I have another seizure, I'm not going to do this no more. God said, you know what? I'm going to make you have another one, and I'm going to let you see what I'm going to do. So I had another seizure. And I was like, I'm not doing this no more. I gave up. I tried to commit suicide. I took 3. Look, this is the thing. I'm going to be real as ever because that's the only way I can help myself and help somebody else. I took 3 bottles of pills. I'm supposed to have been up out of here. I laid on that couch and I said, it's over, I'm going to sleep. Do y'all know? I laid down and all I could remember is laying on my back and all the pills coming out of my mouth like a waterfall, like somebody was pumping my stomach. So the thing, he's not going to let me die. He's not going to let me die. He's not. Thank God I'm not going to try that again, and I never have. I learned my lesson. I said, you know what? You could put me on the stretcher and take me out, but you put my belly, it wasn't nothing but an angel. Because it wasn't nothing but an angel that did it, and I know for a fact that it's so much more. It's so much more to be done, especially when you have, you don't even have to have epilepsy. If you have anything that may be going on, it's a reason. He wants to use you for healing. He wants to use you for transparency. He wants to use you for everything. If you're a creator, you out here doing things with your own business. If you're an entrepreneur, most of the time, I'm going to tell you something. When you're an entrepreneur and he wants you, he's going to strip you until you do it. Because that's what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. But I didn't want to take you out of church. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. Hey, I didn't want to take you out of church, but I had to tell you the truth.
Thank you. You helping somebody, baby.
So we can go ahead and head into, I would say, part 2 of my transparency. This will be me, 19, I would say 20, going into 21, hopping in a relationship, marrying the wrong person. God told me I wasn't supposed to. He said, you better not marry that man. And you know what, I did it anyway. But you want to know what's crazy? You'll still get the covenant, but it'll be like the protection ain't nowhere close. So I end up being hard-headed, knowing I had my condition. I went forward. I stayed, got brainwashed, got abused, got physically beat until I was dead. And guess what? When I came out of that, I woke up in the hospital. And honestly, I didn't know who I was because I knew I had a number of seizures. As the last beating that I had, I knew I had a number of seizures because at that point, I really got stripped of everything. Like, even to this day, I feel like somebody totally different. I feel like that whole situation stripped me of who I was. But at the same time, every day that I live and every day that I do this, I can always come back stronger. But I'm going to tell you, with that situation, I know for a fact that it changed me, it molded me, and it made me realize my worth. And it made me pay more attention to your seizures. Because at that point, it could have been one of those things to where I just got beat really bad and then I was fine. But that was like the fact that you got, head punchers and different things like that. And I kept going back to back because it was sending a brainwave to my mind like, slow down, slow down. But then it ended up just giving out on me. But at the same time, with this happening, I realized that I can't blame him. You got to forgive him. So in this, I know to reverse this whole thing with the seizures because I know seizures, it's a spiritual thing, But at the same time, to reverse it is to forgive the person who made it worse. Because if I didn't get so many shots to their head, these seizures wouldn't be as bad as they were. So I had to forgive him. And it took me some time. Because I'm not going to lie, and I thank God for my guy, Michael, because he's there for me. It was a time where I said, you know what? I'm pressing charges. I woke up one day, because I let him go scot-free. It was one of those things to where, like, when I came back, I said, I just want a divorce. Because I just want a divorce. And honestly, at that time, I kind of just wanted to leave it in that place. I didn't want nothing. I didn't want the house. I didn't want anything at all. I just wanted to get away so no justice was served. So then here I am walking around, my heart is dark, mad, crying every other night, different things like that. And then God finally said, you know what, you're going to have to forgive him, and the justice is through me. And my God was like, he was just talking me through it and just like making sure that I was fine because it was a fragile moment. But I would say the most powerful thing was just not going up there and saying, hey, you know what, he did this after 2 years later, and then, because it would have brought everything back and it would have made it worse. So that was my whole full stream of just forgiving him, letting it go. And imagine being in my shoes and somebody taking your life, knowing this person took your life. This is no, because women lie all the time and say, this person beat me and get a man in jail. No, it happened. He took my life. I didn't go to the police. I said, God, you got to do something. Because he had raped the thing, it stripped me so bad, it stripped my mind so bad, to the point to where I didn't know how to move. I was scattered. I'm like, should I go to the police? Dang, if I go to the police, his family gonna do this. If I do this, he gonna do this. If I do this, he gonna do this. I'm worried about what he gonna do, and I ain't even asked God what he gonna do. But I think the most important part about it was just, letting it go and, focusing on my healing, which was the most important thing. And then being who I am and what I do, because I do so much, y'all. I'm going to tell you what, having epilepsy, I do so much. When I say it keeps my mind going, I have to stay busy with a lot because the moment I sit still, it comes back. But then he said, you know what I'm going to do is with all those gifts, I know this is how he be talking to me. He be like, you got too much going on. Sit down. But the thing of it is that I make sure I stay busy, but I make sure it's the healthy busy. It's not the busy where I got this going on, I'm running rapid, I'm falling out and having seizures and different things like that. Because at first it was like that because I didn't even know how to stay busy in the right way. I was just doing stuff to be doing it because I needed to keep it off my mind. That's not how you're supposed to do it. Regardless of what you got going on, if something is on your mind, if you need to find something to do, you just don't stay busy to just like brush it away because when it comes back, it's going to come back 10 times worse. And that's what was happening to me. I was ignoring it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to drink. And the crazy part about it, you guys, like I said, this is 110% like honesty of like everything that went on with epilepsy. And when I was having no hard times, I had a menu. How many people know about that Miami Grill on Page? So I used to go upstairs and get the rice and say, you know what, can I have a bottle of Ciroc? That was my menu for a couple months. Because I didn't care. I was trying to figure out how to heal in a different way. But the thing of it is that I had to really go and figure out what I wanted to do. Nothing didn't happen. He let me do whatever I was going to do. He said, you know what, I saved you once. I'm going to continue. And this the crazy part, right? He just kept saving me. He's like, you out here drinking, eating fried rice on your stomach. When I tell you, I was drinking so much, I was numb. Meaning it was like, I don't even get drunk no more. That's how, you said, oh, but that's how it was. I just kept going. And the thing, I was testing his limits. I'm like, well, if you're going to let me go this far, I'm going to see how far I can go now. So then I go, let me get a bigger bottle, like I'm Big Dog. It was like, no, you can't do that. And the person that told me I couldn't do that was my guy. I ended up meeting him, and he ran into me. This is funny. He ran into me, and he asked me, for my number. I looked at it, I said, I'm in savage mode. No. And the reason I said I was being honest with who I was and what I was going through. And I was like, no, and the savage, sometimes when we hear that from people's mouth, we automatically think other things, but I was being savage with my soul, my mind, meaning I did not care until I found the answer to what was going on with me. That was the most important thing. But I don't want to keep y'all all day because you done sat here for the fashion show, and I know it's food over there. We need to hurry up and get it served. I just want to go ahead and say this to you guys and speak on healing a little bit because my true healing, because I still don't know why he's saving me seizure after seizure. Every time I'm looking, I'm supposed to be, that's negative. I'm not supposed to be thinking I'm supposed to be gone, but I'm like, you steady saving me. You steady bringing me back. But I'm going to tell you, my healing is, and I can't even control it. It's like people. I can't control it. You try to shake it, but he be like, no, people. I'm like, okay. Go to work, people. I'm like, oh, okay. He just won't. So I'm going to tell you, if you're here tonight and you got something going on with you, and the thing of it is, it doesn't have to always be a sickness. It can just be something that's going on with you and you just really need to focus so you can get that, I would say, that delivery. And delivery thing is people always talk about the whole church thing. I don't want to take you out of church, but I want to be very transparent with the spirit. It's within. Because I'm going to tell you, when the closest, he said, all right. I got closer. And I got my healing when I stepped away. And I actually heard the voice for real. I was sitting in church, didn't even know who I was listening to. I'm like, who is that talking? My pastor or God or my sister, my auntie? I'm like, who is this talking to me? Yeah. And the crazy part about it is that when I sat down and got to dealing with myself, dealing with my demons, dealing with everything, even with, being perfect. I'm not telling you don't go to church. Yeah, go, because I love mine. I go every Sunday if I could. But the thing of it is just that healing is just knowing you, being transparent. Don't be afraid to tell nobody your story because somebody needs to hear that. Somebody needs to hear that. And if you're not going to tell your story, go talk to somebody who you trust because that's going to be the beginning. That's the beginning of it. But I don't want to hold you guys too long. I want to serve this great food and let y'all eat. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for filling these seats. That is all, you guys. Thank you. I ain't even look at my tablet. What I write there for?
So one more time, I want you to give it up for Miss Queen, this Queen, Miss Savy.